Alright, so I think it's time that I start doing a video again because, things are happening. I don't think I'm going to get rid of that smudge that's on there, even with washer fluid. So I may just end up making a video that I delete later because I'm fucking mad at it. But hey, that's whatever. I'm not the one that's going to look through that shit for the entire duration of the video. It's my 26 followers, sorry. So where am I? I am in what the fuck is the name of this fucking town? I can't remember the name of the town I'm in. Hamburg? Newberg, Oregon. That's where it is. I gotta go to Corvallis, Oregon. So I believe I did a video or two once I started in this company, so I don't probably need to go into detail about that. I should probably rewatch my videos, or at least parts of them to, so that I know where I'm at.
In 500 meters.
I am doing my drop day, my second day of drops, because I'm running LTL loads now, which means that once I get across the country to the West Coast, I've got in this case, I have 11 different delivery locations, and they're, all sorts of different kinds of locations. Like I've been today. It was at a distribution center. I just left a farm, like a sod farm. I was at a little tiny place earlier, a couple smaller spots with goofy backups and stuff. Almost universally pleasant people to deal with. Really, actually, none of them have been bad, which is kind of nice because when I used to run produce, you were usually kind of treated like shit. I really expected the DC warehouse to be a shit show because it's a cold storage facility and those are usually the worst. But I think because I was delivering not stuff that they store, I wasn't delivering products for them to warehouse. I was actually delivering labels that they use to label the product. So I was actually, they were the actual company was the customer, and they were not a warehouse for the final customer, if that makes any sense. So I still had to show up when their receiving hours were, which again, a lot of DC warehouses, was at night. So they receive from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So I showed up around 5 local time. So 7 my time or 8 my time. So I it's not like I lost sleep. I showed up, I shouldn't say that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I showed up the day before, so yesterday, which today is October the 1st as of this video, so Wednesday to September 29th. I showed up and I don't know, it was 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Dispatch had said, you know what, they're delivering their products, maybe they'll take you, go in there and find out. So I went, and of course the receiving door was locked, so I called the after hours number. The guy, he's like, okay, hold on, let me check, right? So if you're parked, just sit tight. We might have to get you to wait till 1, but I'll start making some phone calls and see what I can do. Just, for now, go ahead and sit in the parking lot. So I went back to my truck, and I don't even think I was in my truck for 30 seconds when I shouldn't say safety guy, a guy that goes around and tells everybody what to do came out and said, you can't park here. I'll wait for a phone call. You're gonna have to wait on the street. You can't stay here during the day. I said, well, okay, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come back when I feel like coming back. How's that sound? So I left. There's a rest area, literally. You get back on the interstate and you don't even leave the exit ramp. That just turns into the road, the ramp from the rest area. So I just went to the rest area and spent the night there. So left in the morning and delivered. But the same thing, when I got in this morning, I go and check in, and they're super, super nice and easy to work with. Yep. I didn't even have to wait. Normally it's well, we'll call you with a door. It's you know what? We got a free door right here. Take that door, slam it in there. We'll get them off you. I hadn't even fucking set my parking brake, and they'd open the bay door and started offloading me. So, and it was only 2 pallets, so they got their stuff super quick, and they made life super easy for me. Which again, a lot of guys that are showing up for cold storage, you're there fucking 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 hours waiting. And then, once they're done with you, you get the fuck out, regardless of how much time you have left. So, and I figured today wouldn't be as productive as it has been. I've actually only got 3 drops left. 4, I guess, technically. I'm on my way to one of them. No, we got Corvallis. No, Corvallis is one of the 3. No, it's not. I lied. So you got 2 that are first come, first served, and then the last one in Redmond, California. So this is I have 3 more drops after the one I'm on my way to. Which is A-okay by me. Because it's been like the one downside with today, all of my drops are in, like after I got into, once I left the interstate, I didn't get back on it. So all of my drops, I'm running out in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's good road, but there's no truck stops or fuel stations or, places where I could say park a truck to grab a snack or whatever. So I'm getting pretty hungry, but I don't think it'll be until I go to my last delivery in Reading that I'll jump back on the I-5, and I probably won't drop in Reading till tomorrow morning. Depends on what time they receive till, I think the paperwork said. What did the paperwork say? It just says deliver, confirming address. My 2 deliveries prior to that, so the 2 that come up after the one I'm on my way to, they're first come, first served. They're both open till 4:30 p.m. local. So it's just after 4, like it's 4:15 my time. So it's 1:15 right now. So I should hopefully be able to make both of those drops. If not, it might get tricky because, like I said, there really isn't anywhere to park out here. I might have to actually backpedal to the interstate and/or call and find out if I can park on, like, spend the night on the road or whatever. Like I got bread, peanut butter, and stuff in the truck, so I can make food for the night if I have to. It's no fine dining at like fucking Wendy's or something, but peanut butter sandwich is probably better for me anyways. And then deliver, probably take a reset. I gotta decide what I'm gonna do for a reset. I got a couple of friends who live in California that want me to come see them. I'm not coming out here. I really want to spend some time with them, but like after kind of the week I've had a pretty rough week, like mentally, emotionally. Nothing like not like I haven't had a hard time at work. I've just had a lot of shit on my plate, like personal stuff that I'm stuck thinking about while I'm at work. Why does it just look like the fucking streaks actually got worse as we were driving? I'd like for the washer fluid to get over there and break that up a little bit. There we go. Better than nothing. But like my wipers are fucked. I gotta get new wipers. It's another reason why I want to get to a truck stop. Like I want to buy a good set, but I'll grab just a decent pair because mine are not wiping at all anymore properly. But what was I gonna say here? Yeah, so I kind of want to spend my reset, parked at a truck stop, kind of by myself and just play video games and nap and, actually get that weekend of relaxation. So we'll see what happens. Like I gotta look. I've been actually pretty busy all day. I haven't had a whole lot of time to stop and like consult my logbook or anything, because most of these drops, like you're in and out within like 15-20 minutes. So like you bump the door, go talk to them, they offload you again within 2 or 3 minutes, you're good to go. So you leave them, shut your doors, make sure you got your paperwork signed, and basically all I'm doing is just punching in the next address and giving them a call to let them know I'm on my way. So I actually haven't, like I've been updating my logbook to show when I'm on duty or off duty, but I haven't actually looked to see what I have. When I woke up yesterday morning, when I shut down last night, I had 16 hours left. So that's today, that's my delivery tomorrow. I won't start getting hours back until tomorrow at midnight. So I'll probably, like, the idea first off, I got to find out where I'm going after this. Once I deliver, it's tricky, right? Because there's lots of freight in Northern California, but it's all produce, it's all refrigerated freight, and I'm pulling a dry box. So it's likely that I'll just get directed down to LA, right? So literally, north almost the entire way south across the whole state of California, which is fine by me. It's fucking beautiful driving. A little bit slower than I like with their 55 mile an hour speed limits, but fun scenery, right? And then I will probably, like I said, if I say fuck it and see my buddy, I gotta get like midway through California, kind of in the Valley area. He's got a place for me to park my truck for the weekend, quote unquote, and then do a reset and like come down to the yard for the warehouse fucking Sunday morning, right? Because California is the tallest of the 3 western states, so it is like a fairly big drive to get down there, like at least a day's drive. So probably shut down at the warehouse Sunday night and have a load for me to leave back home with some Monday morning. So then I would get home like Monday, like Wednesday, well, Thursday-ish, and then like try to squeeze a day off on Friday, and then go back out Saturday morning with a load. See, it's gonna be fucking difficult because my old man says you gotta do a West Coast, take a day off, do a short run, and then go back to the West Coast. But the California loads leave Friday and Saturday, so you have to be home Friday or Saturday. And again, the entire drive back west eats up most of my hours that I would have to drive back east. Would eat up most of the hours I have to drive back west. So I've got to try to figure out, like my dad's like, yeah, you take a reset out on the West Coast, come back, take a day off, and then go back west again. So, but then I'm like, I use the day off because I'm going to go back out west on recaps. Like, is that how that works? But then it is, you go back west, which means go like, well, I think my dad is I think he doesn't quite realize yet doing this, that e-logs are really, this kind of work. It was the same when I worked in Scotland. This kind of work is where you really see not issues, but where e-logs can kind of make life difficult, because as of right now, unless I run all the way home on recaps, I'm not going to get home until later, until like later in the week next week. And again, the problem with that is that I don't think they'll send me to the West Coast again without having done a reset, right? Because they don't want you to do a reset. Well, it's not like I'm hauling produce. I can do a reset with a load on the trailer, but the outbound, they usually try to book everything to deliver Monday, Tuesday, like that week. So you leave on a Friday or a Saturday, you get down there for, I started doing drops in Idaho, so Tuesday morning I started delivering, and then go on, through till today. But because today's Thursday, and again, it's very likely that I won't get all my drops done until tomorrow morning. Again, the hard part is I'm trying to make plans or guesses, but I don't have any information, right? You kind of have to just, and I think it's also my dad is an issue with this, you kind of just have to just sit back and like wait to be told what you're doing before you can try to predict things. Because if I try to make a plan for the week, like I said, I can make all these plans, say, okay, well, I'm going to be back Thursday, I'm going to have to do either jump back out on the West Coast or skip a West Coast trip or whatever, and then dispatch, oh yeah, we got a load in fucking Oregon, or you're in Redding, right? Yeah, we got a load in Redding, just grab it and come back home. So then all of a sudden I'm, grab the load right away and start trucking east, and then maybe take a reset on the way back. But then I'm back, I drive all weekend, right, or most of the weekend, so then I'm back Monday or Tuesday, probably Wednesday, let's say Wednesday. That gives me time to get a day off and then go back out again. But again, I still think you're not, the plan is to not do 2 West Coast runs back to back, because you can't, it's hard to get away with that because of how many hours you have, right? So you'd have to, technically coming back from this, I should be taking a reset on the weekend, right? Going out Monday to do a short run, coming back, say Wednesday, Thursday, then taking the day off, then going out west. Because you've only used up a day or 2 on the short stuff, so you can still get everything done in California. Then take a reset on the West Coast, come back. I said it's I gotta talk to my dad about it a bit more because he explained it to me and it seemed to make sense. Yeah, you're home one weekend a month, but when you're home, it's on the actual weekend versus being home middle of the week like I have been. Right? Because so far I've been doing like you go to the West Coast, you come home, and that's it. Now I've gone out and back on recaps, or I've gone out and come back then on recaps. Right? Like I haven't taken a reset on the West Coast. But it just, I'm trying to run the ideas in my head, and like it seems like it would always come out that like, you know, if when I get back from this trip, I can't just leave for another West Coast trip. But I also won't necessarily, like I won't have time to do a short one. And then like get a West Coast, like when I come back from this one, I pretty much have to, if I want to start into the short stuff, then do a long run, I gotta sit at home for a day or like for the weekend basically, and then leave on a Monday with a short one and then go west. Like where I'm at right now, this is, you know, the California is basically the, like if how do I word this? I might be getting ahead of myself. Right? If you're doing a 1-2 trip where your trip 1 is your short run and trip 2 is your California, I'm on trip 2, so the next one would be a trip 1, not another trip 2. Right? You go long or short, long, short, long, short, long. And I'm in the long, so I wouldn't do another long run. I would do a short. But I'm going to be home. Like, I mean, I guess I could do a short one, but that would then put me home Monday, Tuesday again, right? And so I would do the short one and then sit. Where if when I get home, I sit for the weekend, then do a short one, then come back for a day, then go to the West Coast. And I think for some reason my dad was like, because I asked him, I kind of put it that way. He's like, no, you're going to come back, take a day off, and then do a short run, or then go back to the West Coast. And I don't know what the fuck he said, but it was like, okay, you don't want to leave for a short load on a fucking Friday or a Saturday because that's going to fuck you up for going to the West Coast unless you sit for almost an entire week, right? So ideally, you want to leave on a Friday or a Saturday, go to the West Coast, get back on a Monday or a Tuesday, right? Do your day off, do a short one, and then be back for Friday. Or go out to the West Coast, reset there, we'll come back, do the short one, and then do a reset. Like it's I don't know. Like I said, I think my dad, he's still like thinking about all of this from the perspective of like you have full control over your hours. So like if you want to get back at this time, it's, you know, the only person stopping you is you. Where now, you know, it's not the case. Like I can drive faster, but that also costs more money in fuel and, you know, could potentially be illegal. So like you end up getting kind of limited in what you can do. Right? Like the guys that are governed are even worse. Like you're on e-logs and you're governed at 65, like the most amount of money you can ever physically fucking make is, you know, your pay times 65, well, whatever the fuck it is, 65 mile an hour, 11 hours, 660 fucking miles or whatever it is, right? Like there's your mileage potential is like it's fixed. It has a fixed maximum, right? Where being ungoverned, I can at least still try to make a bit more money, especially when I start getting out west where the speed limits are up to 80 mile an hour. I don't want to do 80, but I can do 70 or 75 if I want to, and, you know, go that route. But like coming out here, again, I like all the roads I'm on out here. Most of Washington, Oregon, even on the interstates, it's like 60 miles an hour most. Out here, the speed limit's 55. So I'm like, I get the cruise set for 60, so I'm not, you know, I'm not holding everybody up behind me, but I'm also not tearing up the fucking asphalt here. But like, it's, you know, it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's pretty, it can be tough to maximize profits or like maximize the amount of money you're making per hour. So I don't know. Like I said, I think I just play it by ear and then kind of find my way with it. It's tricky because I'm I'm behind on a lot of bills and payments, and like there's a lot of stress involved right now with all that stuff. But it's also, you know, my only real alternative, which is one that I have been contemplating, is to sell the truck and get rid, like, stop being an owner operator. Like there's obviously a lot of issues with pride, right? I'm an owner operator at this point. I certainly don't want to go back to being a company guy. But you know, I could be an owner operator, a bankrupt owner operator, or a company guy who's still got money and doesn't, you know, isn't massively in debt, right? I mean, hopefully I can be both of the positive ones. I can be an owner operator who's not massively in debt. You know, I've had some discussions with my father. My dad is very bad for, he doesn't believe in quitting while you're ahead. He soldiers through until something, like, you know, until it blows up horribly and he loses everything. And my dad's been through those cycles multiple times, so he's, you know, he's not very attached to items. And he's just kind of put this mindset, you know, like, I'm gonna buy all the things and have all the cool stuff until I can't have it anymore, and then, well, I'll just have it all taken away again and start from scratch. Where I don't mind having to lose things, but I don't want to have everything taken away and then sit there and have to, you know, go bankrupt or something like that. Like, if I have to choose, you know, like, if I'm in a situation, I would rather quit while I'm ahead. You know, if I were to sell this truck right now, I'd come out with probably around $30,000 in the bank, because, you know, the amount that I can get for this truck versus what I have left owing on it is finally, like, at the ideal place, right? So with that 30 grand, I could pay off everybody I owe money to. The truck is over, like, almost 60% of my over 60% of my monthly bill, and my house is the other, like, it forms another, how do I do the math here? My house and my truck comprise, like, close to 80% of my bills, right? So if I were to get rid of both, right, by either moving into my truck, finding a much cheaper apartment, or moving in with my parents, I could suddenly, I'm like doing quite well for a company guy. I don't want to give up this truck. I absolutely don't. My dad started looking at other strategies, like, well, why don't we sell that truck for an older used truck? And it's like, why, like, you know, that gets really, like, that hits me on, like, a really kind of a, I don't know what the word for it is, like it was weirdly, it's a trigger for me. You know, I spent most of my life not having anything, and anytime I did have anything, it was always, like, very heavily used and beat up. So, you know, my truck, for example, is brand new, or was brand new when I bought it, right? I certainly don't want to go from a brand new truck to an older used truck, right? The only other trucks I want to buy at this point are brand new trucks. If I'm going to drive an older used truck, I would rather just be a company driver and not have any of the headaches, right? My dad does not want me to become a company driver again. He wants me to remain an owner operator. So he was looking at a used, I guess it's not an older truck, it's, I think, the same year as mine, but more kilometers. It was one of those aerodynamic Western Stars. It's automatic and all that stuff. And I was like that seems kind of silly. Like, why would I get rid of my truck that I'm very attached to for a truck that's used by somebody else, and know that some other random is going to get my Peterbilt, like my 389 that I'm attached to, and they get to drive it and have the fucking fun, but I'm going to go and drive some other used, truck that's not what I want to drive. I was like, if I got to drive a truck that I don't want to drive, I'd rather do it as a company guy and have zero fucking headaches than as an owner-operator and have the combination, financial stresses I do now and be driving a truck I don't like, right? So, but I realize I've caught up on my next delivery pretty quick, so I'm going to end the video here because I need to pay attention to navigation, because there are, Oregon and Washington have lots of little roads that are not truck-friendly, and I don't feel like being on one of them and finding out after I'm on it that I shouldn't be on it, because I really don't want to end up on fucking YouTube for a completely different reason than the videos I produce. So that's what I'm going to get doing. So you guys all have fun, and I'll probably start another video later once I find out, on my way to my next delivery. So peace out.